How do? It's Terry Bush here. I've just finished on toilet. I won't talk for long because I pebble dashed it somewhat, so you can't leave it for very long, can you? Or else you'll need a chisel and a blowtorch to get it off. So I were in the pub last night having a shandy. Don't worry, it was with Calibre. And I was playing Donimos and I was talking to the landlord, Pete, and he reminded me that Gloria McElbury, she used to clean the pub in mornings, you know. And Gloria McElbury was that lass that she used to work in the dental surgery as a receptionist, you know, the one down on the high street, and she got sacked. And everyone thought it were for thieving drugs or maybe the instruments, you know, the paraphernalia. But what it were, when the police went into her house, they found out she'd stolen about 3 headfuls of extracted teeth, and she had them set in blue tack on top of a vanity case in her house down on Morley Road, it were. And you know, her dad, Mickey McElbury, he left when she were about, I don't know, 5 or 6 year old. And ever since then, Gloria were obsessed with like dolls and prams and, you know, all stuff for babies. And then she got a bit older. She got to about, I don't know, 13 or 14. And then she got dead thin. And she were only eating loft insulation and drinking milk from saucer, sometimes pop, but mostly milk. It's a disease, I think it's called Zika or Pica. Anyway, she got dead thin, and then after that, when she properly hit puberty, she started to pretend she were pregnant all the time. I mean, like, you know, she'd get pregnant, and she didn't have a boyfriend, and the dad wasn't around, so it couldn't have been him. And she'd get pregnant periodically, and then she'd say she'd lost it, but, you know, it was suspicious. She's dotty, and you know, she would always having them baby showers, you know, where they bring, you know, presents and all that jazz. But after a bit, she were only asking for cash or vouchers, not toys and not clothes. Because I suppose after about the 55th, you know, baby shower, you've got enough clothes to start a mother care yourself. So she were having cash and vouchers, so there was something in it for her, a bit of brass, you know. Anyway, so she said she had about 63 miscarriages, right? And this is by the time she's about 18. I mean, she's as mad as a wasp on glue. I tell you, she's soft up there like a tree boar. So, 63 miscarriages. I mean, even a Victorian charwoman wouldn't have survived that. And they only lived till they were about 42, you know. And as I say, Gloria had had this many by the time she were about 18. Even in Bible, it stretches credibility when there's one immaculate conception, doesn't it? So another 62, it'd beggar even religious belief anyway. So she's wearing these flesh-coloured bodysuits around, and inside she's got like a rolled up travel pillow, or sometimes a deflated casey, you know, and holding her back and getting all sympathy on that. I think it's called Baron Munchausen syndrome or something. There was something like that anyway. I'm not a very medical-ish man, but you know, and if you went near her and asked to feel the lump and feel the bump, she'd say, "Get off here, I'm going to stab you." She were, you know, really... Actually, she got put in a psychiatric ward because she'd punctured the shoulder of a midwife with a biro. So, for trying to touch the lump, you know, take its temperature or whatever they do with one of them stethoscopes. So she... This were in the late 70s, so she got put on a psychiatric ward. And unfortunately, in those days, in the 70s, if you were, well, a woman and poor, they could pretty much do what they wanted with you, couldn't they? So they said they're going to hysterectomise her. That's when they scoop out a woman and get all the eggs and the blood out of them, because they said it were making her crazy. Now, this doctor who did it, he's been struck off now. Well, killed himself, actually, before it got to court, but he just said he's going to scoop her out and everything will be all right. And he also gave her that ECT, which is that convulsive therapy, I think it's called, electroconvulsive therapy, because he said the eggs had gone to her brain and made her hystericals. So when she came out, she didn't have to think about babies no more, but she were dead different. Like, you used to see her on the high street, like, and she had a pram with her still, but this time it were full of cats. Little cats as well, like little baby cats, and she'd knitted them little woolen jerkins, and they were all, you know, dead docile, and she used to push them round, you know, going in the butchers and the hardware shop and charity shops and all that, and everyone were dead suspicious because they're like, how are these cats not running off, and how do you even get a woolen jerkin on a cat? But apparently someone said to me that she was suckling the cats at the breast, And because she were taking so much Valium, it were knocking these cats for six, and they were basically so docile she could do what she wanted with them. But, you know, Sigmund Freud did say, didn't he? Time spent with a cat is not time wasted. But even for a European kinky sod, I doubt he'd have been thinking about cross-species suckling.